What is up, gang? What's up, folks? We're diving right into it. It is a late day for me. I'm tired, but I am being woken up by everything that Oda has fucking given us this week. And let me go ahead and check this because I'm probably busting your eardrums. My bad. Tired. Haven't turned on the audio. Everything else is on though. But we're here for episode, or actually chapter 1182. I was going to say episode, but all of our videos are not here because we lost the YouTube, but let's not worry about that. We are now in 1182. We did not expect to get it. This is supposed to be Golden Week in Japan, so they're supposed to have a week off, and we're supposed to actually have 2 weeks off from One Piece, but we got fucking lucky, and we got 1182, the brief spoilers. Let's go ahead and go through these quickly because this is fucking amazing off the chapter we just came off of. I did not expect to get what we have got today. I did not expect to get this at all. I thought, let's go ahead, because the first of this threw me off. Okay, so One Piece chapter 1182, brief spoilers. The chapter 1182 is called Domination. Let me zoom in on this because I actually let me crop this because this was not from Pew Piece. This was from Maggak. They had picked it up, and then I think Marco, maybe the Will of Marco, picked it up. Chapter 1182, I said domination, it's Dominion. Chapter starts off with Emu teleporting to Loki. So last we saw, Emu was pasted into the side of the wall where Loki shot him with Thormheim. And then he stood there, put up Omen, bam, blocked that shit, and was smiling like, oh, thou art here. So he teleports. Emu fires an Omen arrow, which Loki deflects with a Thunderheim, which freezes the arrow. Emu then summons an Omen blade and uses a named attack called 16 Moons. Who else do we know with an attack named 16 Moons? Hawkeye Mihawk. Just leaving that there for now. After 16 moons, Loki kneels on the ground, coughing up blood as Emu says, "Thou art not him." And I think he's looking for the god of war. We then hear the drums of liberation as we see Luffy finally coming to the scene, and he's laughing. Then, in an epic double-page spread, we see a massive three-way Haki clash between Emu, Luffy, and Loki, as Emu says, "Move shall show thee true dominion." I knew Loki's Haki was strong, but I didn't think it was up there with Gear 5 Awaken Luffy, and then Emu using Maki, not even Haki. We need to see if it's overshadowed or if it's just the Haki comparable to his body size and how it's used. This is really fucking crazy because I didn't think he would be in this conversation. I thought he was just now getting taken out. Says we then cut to Sanji. Our boy Sanji is here. He is variable, okay. But as he gains consciousness, whilst being carried by Jewelry Bonnie in her adult form, Bonnie says, "Sanji, you're awake. You always get hyper-tooled just like on Egghead." Chapter ends with Summers confronting Sanji's group. Okay, so let's start at the end, what I just left with. Sanji first. Bonnie said, "You're always getting hyper-tooled." In Egghead, Sanji was trying to keep Vegapunk alive. And even though Vegapunk's like, "No, I have to die. You know, I'm telling you, you let me die when the time comes." He took on Nasajuro, and he kind of protected Bonnie, Nami with S Shark, and that was it. There is more that he could do, and I think he's in Bonnie's arms. I don't know. This is my deal. If Bonnie uses her devil fruit, there's so many people she could affect. Chief Gerald, put that motherfucker back to where his Haki was at peak Haki. Dorian Brogy if they need peak Haki. But Sanji, is she going to revert Sanji's body back to being normal? And if so, at this level, or would he have more Haki at that point in time? Like, what is she going to do? Whatever Bonnie is getting ready to do with her age ability is going to help Sanji realize his Conqueror's Haki. But he did clash with Emu, so I don't think it's maybe a little bit lower than Zoro. And we still don't know what he said to Copacabana on the outside of the panel when he went over there to talk to him after he asked if he had Haki. Next, the chapter ends with Somers confronting Sanji's group. Sanji's being carried by Bonnie. Who else is over there? Frankie, Jinbei, Nami, Brooke and Usopp are down, and then I think that's it. And when we looked at that picture, that was like, who is this? It was Lilith Vegapunk. She's also over there. And then it was Sanji in the air. Because I was like, nobody else looks like this except for Sanji. But you couldn't see his armor. So Bonnie has hold of him. Somers is coming all geeked up, and this is where Sanji's getting ready to team up with Jory Bonnie, unlock something with his Haki, and take out Somers. I thought it was going to be Killingham, but Killingham is still close. He was over with the Sanji, Jinbei, Frankie, so it might be Jinbei that takes his ass out. What else? The Nemesis, 16 Moons. Emu Narona is very, very close to Mihawk as far as attacks. Everything he's making is with black clouds, his flames. That being said, why are there so many moon attacks? Maybe Emu is one of the original people that lived on the moon, the original and ancient from the other Lunarians. And to kill the Lunarians, I feel like you have to be one of them to know the secrets. So, seeing Emu out here in this capacity, we got the Jory Bonnie and Sanji deal that's going to amp up and rev into this next battle. Saint Somers, Killingham, he's off doing his shit. Gunko, we don't know where he is. They really need to join up and figure out how everybody can use Haki and what extent they have. But it seems like some of them are getting those cues while they're doing other things here on Elbaf, which is cool. It's not a training arc. This is actually high stakes, but it makes things harder to understand sometimes, because it's like, this is off place by story, this is off place by whole timeline back here, this is off place by this. But the key components that we have here, Loki is still in the fight, Thormheim fighting in dragon form with Emu, and Luffy comes up, and I want to see the parameter. How much of the circle where the black flames are, or how much around Emu are the houses dancing and looking menacing? And then when Luffy gets on there, how much are the dances and the trees dancing without those demonic faces? That is what I want to know. And also what Emu says when they see Luffy as Luffy White or Gear 5. I'm waiting to hear those statements made, because it's going to add to more lore. Because right now, based off the native Japanese speakers, I think the Joy Boy was the brother of Emu, and there was a falling out with the devil. They were doing something, ran to a devil, had that conversation that we saw, and it talked about dominion and liberation. But I also want to take it a step further and say I think Davy D. Jones is Joy Boy. He holds the title of Joy Boy, the Liberator, and that's why there's a promise between Davy D. Jones and Joy Boy. I just have to go through it a little bit more and figure out if that is correct. That's my predictions. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments below. Thank you so much. This is your place for all One Piece content. Edge to Otaku, part of Edge to Gaming, and brought to you by me, Elijah 5000. Thank you so much. Subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you're notified, because I did not know we were getting these spoilers. They came out. So here you are today, Tuesday. So just a day late, One Piece chapter 1182, the brief spoilers. I'm sure the full spoilers will be out in the next 2 days or so, maybe TCB scans, and we still have so much time before the next chapter drops. So it's somewhere between here. I'll try to keep you guys updated and posted. I got to get some rest. Thank you guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace.